The Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. Everybody can calm down. We have Aaron Rodgers. That means we're 100% going to the Super Bowl, and it doesn't matter what my schedule predictions are because we're going to win the Super Bowl. You know, I wish I was that. Sometimes I do wish I was that delusional, but real talk, I am here to make my Steelers prediction. Last year when I made my Steelers prediction, I was one game off. I got all the games correct except for one game, and it was the Raggedy Cowboys. However, that's okay. I'm super proud of myself, and so I did pretty well. So I decided, you know what, why not do it again? So I have taken some time to do the research about all the teams that we're going to play, the teams are going to play before us, all of those different dynamics to kind of create my thought process on how I think the Steelers are going to do this year. Before I get started on that though, I'm going to post my prediction last year, so you'll see that on the screen. You'll see how I predicted the wins and the losses. But anyways, who cares about that? Let's talk about this 2025 schedule. I will be honest, I kind of like how the schedule is laid out. I like the different combinations of games. We have some games in there that will be tough games. We have some tough defenses. Obviously, we play the Ravens. We're going to play the Browns. We play the Vikings this year, the Bears, the Lions. Like, we have some tough games in there, but I really like this schedule, mainly because I feel like it gives us a lot of different opportunities to see the Steelers play different combinations of teams, and I don't really know what the Steelers team is going to give me, so I like that the schedule also, I don't really know what the schedule is giving me, so that is good. I'm also going to make these predictions assuming that TJ Watt is still with the Steelers and assuming he doesn't get traded and assuming he's still with us. I'm also going to make the assumption that our offensive line is going to be better than last year. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to have a top this defense. Our offensive line is going to be the best. We're going to be the best. Everyone's going to improve. Everyone's going to be dramatically better, because I don't believe that to be true. However, let's just assume that everything is slightly better and slightly okay. Then that is how I'm going to make my prediction. The other thing I want to call out here is this. I don't like that we have the Patriots, the Lions, and the Colts and the Chargers on our schedule, because I don't know where to place them. I don't know what to do with those franchises. I never really know what to do with those franchises, but they're on our schedule, so I have some thoughts. So let's just go ahead and get into our thoughts. And by the way, you might see a change of scenery here in just a second. For those of you that are new here, the spot is going to look new, but trust me, this is the original OG, and this is where I started creating videos, but nobody cares about that. Let me go ahead and get into these schedule predictions and all of my thoughts that I think about my Steelers this season. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and don't forget to turn on those notification bells so you don't miss any new videos when they release. And if you feel like it, leave me a comment in the comment section below, because we all know by now, I love engaging in the comment section below. In week 1, we play the New York Jets. The New York Jets obviously have a new coach. They have our old quarterback in Justin Fields. Shout out to Justin Fields. Rodgers this is his old former team, so I like that. And for the record, like, I don't think this game is going to be about Aaron Rodgers per se. I just think that that is a cool little like layer to add to this, but I'm going to say the Steelers are going to win this game. So we're going to go to week 2, our first home game of the season. Seattle is going to be traveling from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and they're going to have a new quarterback. I like our chances here. That also, I think this also means the game is going to probably be at like 10 a.m. Seattle time or something like that. Anyways, I like our chances to win this game, so I'm going to pick this as a win. And then for week 2, we are away and we play at New England. I actually do not like this game. I don't think the Steelers usually play well in New England. I just don't like it. However, I do like that they have a second-year quarterback and a new head coach. And historically, we have beaten that coach. So I'm going to anxiously say win here. However, this is one of those games. If the Steelers don't show up, I wouldn't be shocked. Moving right along, we are going to go overseas, and we're going to go to Ireland, where we are going to play the Minnesota Vikings in week 4. And I kind of like this game because McCarthy is going to be playing in his 4th game as a starter. And defenses usually travel well, which will be great for the Vikings and the Steelers. However, the Vikings defense, I think, might be better than the Steelers defense, but we'll talk about that later. And then I also have, like, before this game, the Vikings will have played the Bears, the Falcons, and Bengals, which have decent defenses besides the Bengals. And so I don't know why I like the Steelers here. Maybe because I think this is going to be an ugly game and because I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Steelers are going to win this game. The next week is going to be a bye week, and I'm going to assume the Steelers are going to win that game. Week 6 is going to be a home game against the Cleveland Browns. This is our first divisional game. It's a rival. We're at home, which I think is great. We're going to be coming off of a bye week where we have went overseas, and then we got a bye week, which is great. And then honestly, we better win this game. We're 13-4 out of our bye weeks with Mike Tomlin. So I'm going to pick us to win this game. So in week 7, we play against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that this game is interesting to me. So the Tomlin on the road against AFC North opponents. For those of you that don't know, we are 0-5. 0-5. And so that's terrible. And every game, I feel like I can remember every single loss that we have had because it has been ugly and it has just been a lot of dumb things happening. However, I think this is the year Tomlin breaks through. I think this is the year where Tomlin is able to come out, do what he needs to do. And I think we are going to beat the Bengals on Thursday night. Now, again, semantics. Also, I will say the Bengals are coming off of having to play the Lions and the Packers, and they'll also be coming off of playing a 3:25 game the week before. I like our chances here. I'm giving us the win. We'll just move on and leave it at that for now. And now, having said all of this, I know that right now I have the Steelers being 7-0. Yes, that is true. However, would I be surprised if they were 5-2? No, because I really don't like the game against the Patriots, and that it's at the Patriots. I really don't like the Vikings matchup at all, and I really don't like the Bengals matchup at all. So as I'm going through this, I feel like the Steelers should win if everything kind of stays as is, if that makes sense. However, would I be surprised if they lost to a combination of the Patriots, which is so annoying? No. Would I be surprised if they lost to the Vikings? No. And would I be surprised if they lost to the Bengals? Well, history tells me I shouldn't be shocked. So I wouldn't really be shocked. So I'm just calling that out here, but I'm going to keep them as wins because this is my team. However, this is where the schedule gets really interesting for me because I don't know what to expect moving forward for this schedule. So in week 8, we have the Green Bay Packers. And if Aaron Rodgers is healthy and he plays in this game, I like the Steelers. Mainly because I think the NFL wants to see Rodgers win. We will also have 10 days to prepare for this game, which is super important. And I like where that has us at. And honestly, historically, we have beaten the Packers. Now, obviously, we lost to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the refs being ridiculous with the blocked field goals. But, I digress, whatever. So I'm going to pick us to win week 8 at home on Sunday night. Also, I like how the Steelers usually fare being at home on Sunday night football games. So that is just something that I am thinking about there. So remember, we're 17-8. So calling that out here. Then we go to week 9 and we play the Colts and we're at home. And I hate this game. I absolutely hate this game. Being a Steelers fan, I just hate this game. It feels like it's one of those games where we're going to lose and everyone's going to be like, what the hell? How did the Steelers just lose to the Colts? I hope that I'm wrong, but that's like a historical Steelers loss, if you will. And so I will say, though, leading up to this game, too, like the Colts play the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Titans. Honestly, I don't know what that really means or how those teams are going to be, but we are at home. I'm going to give us the win, but this game sets up as a disappointment, but it is what it is at this point. Week 10, we are away. We head to play the Chargers. On Monday night, our record with Tomlin is 17-8, 9-4 at home, 8-4 away, which doesn't really say anything. But I love everything about the Chargers. We're traveling to the West Coast to play them. I don't really love this one, so I'm going to give the Steelers a loss there. Then I'm going to go to week 11. And if we will have beaten the Bengals the first time, I think we're going to lose this game. However, if we lose to them the first time, I think we will beat them this game. I don't like playing the Bengals ever because they have a really great offense and I just don't know what our defense is going to do. However, this is just what it is. The Bengals have a defensive problem. It is what it is. I don't trust them one bit. I'm just going to give us the loss off of an AFC North thing or whatever. But I do think we're going to split with the Bengals. So if we lose this one and win the other one or whatever, it is what it is at this point. The next matchup is actually interesting to me because we go to Chicago and it's in week 12. It's late in the season. The weather doesn't bother me. The matchup is interesting, especially because if we have Aaron Rodgers being our quarterback, I'm not sure how Ben Johnson is going to have that team operating. I'm not sure what the Bears are going to look like. Normally, the Bears have a pretty solid defense, so I'm going to assume that they're going to have that solid defense. However, historically, Aaron Rodgers plays really well against the Bears. I like us in this game, and so I'm just going to pick us to win this game. Again, this is one of those weird teams and weird times where I'm like, I don't really know what's going to happen, so that is my thoughts there. And then in week 13, we play the Buffalo Bills at home. I don't think we're going to beat the Bills and Josh Allen, so we're going to give us the loss there. Then in week 14, we play the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think we beat the Ravens here, mainly because the Ravens are going to be coming off of a 10-day rest, and I think that that's going to help them. So I'm not going to pick us to win that game, so that is a loss. And then on Monday, week 15, we play the Miami Dolphins. I like us in this Miami game, coming off of playing the Ravens, getting another like day for us to really recover. I love that. And we have 22 straight home wins on Monday Night Football. I hope I didn't just jinx us, but I'm okay saying we're going to win that game. And then week 16, we are away and we play the Detroit Lions. And this is where it gets kind of wonky for me. The truth of the matter is I don't like this game. I don't like where it is. I don't like where it's at in the schedule. I don't like that we play the Lions in Detroit. The Lions will be coming off of a Rams game, heading to the West Coast, which is great. And I feel like this game will be a battle for position, like whether it's in the division or the playoffs or whatever. I think the Lions have a very solid roster. I love the roster. This one's so hard for me. I don't know. I honestly, I just don't like the Steelers in this spot. I feel like the Lions are hella talented. I feel like they're more talented than us. Unless a couple of the Steelers players take like massive leaps, I think the Lions might be more talented than us. And I'm going to have to give the Steelers a loss here, very annoyingly, but it kind of is what it is. And then week 17, we play the Cleveland Browns. We play them in Cleveland. It's late into the season. It's not only annoying, but I don't know what to expect from Cleveland. I don't know who's going to be their quarterback. I don't know where the season will be. However, this is a division rival, and this game might matter to Pittsburgh more than the Browns, but I don't like being on the road. I don't like being on the road this late in the season. I don't like this game being here right after the Lions game. I really just don't like anywhere this sets. So unless the Browns have just fallen off the wagon, even that still gives me some concerns when it comes to the Steelers because they're a division rival. So for now, I'm just going to chalk this up as a loss. I don't like it. I don't want to say we're going to lose this game, but here it is. I don't know. I don't like it. So I have to say loss. And then the final game of the season, honestly, this one is so hard because there's no game time. I don't know what's going to happen. This is literally the last game of the season. So many things can happen. The last few years, Baltimore has already clinched. They don't even need this game. It's mattered to the Steelers more than it has to the Ravens, and we've beaten their second string guys. And if the Steelers need this one to win the division, I think I'm going to pick the Steelers because, let's be honest, I'm a Steelers fan. But this is a hard one to call because I don't even know if this game is going to matter. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what is going to go on. I don't really know. And because I have us losing to them earlier in the season, I'm going to say the Steelers are going to win this game. But again, you know what? I'm rolling with my team. It is what it is at this point. There's nothing more I can do. I'm just rolling with my team, and that is that. I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to assume that I have it all figured out, and I am 100% correct. 11-6 is my final prediction. I honestly don't know how I feel about an 11-6 record. I can't believe that I just said that out loud, and saying it out loud actually makes me feel a way, and I don't know if it's a good way or a bad way or what I think, but I'm going to stick by 11-6. I'm going to stick by the things that I've said because I've done enough research at this point. At this point, it's time for me to just say the thing that I think is going to happen and roll with it. So I would love to know what you all think in the comment section below. I would love if you all think I totally whiffed or totally missed on a team because I was actually surprised at some of the things that I saw when I was researching, and I just went with it. I just trusted my gut, and hey, it's in July, so you can make these videos in July. Nothing has happened, no preseason games, no anything. So I am very curious to see what you think in the comment section below. And as always, I will see you in my next video.